So today I'm talking about how empaths get stuck in toxic relationships and how they can break free. But before I go into that, I apologize. Yesterday I posted saying I would be going live today and asked if anyone wanted to be tagged. So I tagged 50 of you guys, but I reached the limit. I didn't realize that there would be a limit to the number of people I could tag. So if I didn't tag you, I apologize. I'm going to tag you in the comments, and it's just because I reached the limit. So yeah, before I go into talking about empaths and toxic relationships, I wanted to introduce myself in case you are new to my page here. My name is Lindsay O'Brien, and I am a coach and an energy healer, and I help women heal from toxic relationships so they can be free, happy, and empowered to reclaim their lives. And if this week I'm actually giving away 3 free discovery sessions. So if you are interested in working with me, you are ready to heal from a toxic relationship or leave, feel free to send me a message and we'll get you booked on the calendar for a session. These are sessions where we go deep into exactly what you're struggling with, like specifically what is going on uniquely in your situation. And we come up with a plan to move you forward, either out of a toxic relationship or recovering and healing from one. So you guys can live an amazing life and have healthy relationships moving forward. Okay, on to the topic at hand. How empaths get stuck in toxic relationships. So a lot of people identify with being an empath, right? And so when you feel like you're an empath, you are someone who feels very deeply. You're usually very compassionate. You have a lot of empathy. And like I said, you feel things very deeply. So often, if you identify as having that type of personality, you can get stuck in toxic relationships for a couple of reasons. But one of the big ones is that you often tend to make excuses for hurtful or abusive behavior. And I'm gonna explain this here, what I mean. So if this is you, if you're identifying with being an empath, you probably feel very deeply, you're super empathetic. So when someone does something hurtful to you or is acting hurtful, you want to try to understand it, right? You want to make sense of it. Because from where you're coming from, most people who consider themselves empaths are very compassionate, they're very kind, they're very loving. So if someone's being hurtful to you, you're like, well, what's going on here? There must be something wrong. So you can work really, really hard to try to understand why someone is acting the way they are. And so often when you do this, you come to understand that a lot of people are acting in hurtful ways because of their trauma, right? They're like, what is the saying? Hurt people, right? So you therefore tend to excuse it. And this can look like, well, they're being hurtful to me, but it's because they had a bad childhood. They had a really difficult childhood. So that's why they're doing it. It's okay. You can also say, well, okay, they have an addiction. They have this addictive behavior. They can't control their actions. It's okay. I understand. Or they're just too traumatized. They can't control their behavior. So that's what this looks like. You are so empathetic and compassionate and understanding that you make excuses for the behavior. And this might have even been conditioned in you growing up. If you had, a difficult relationship with your parents and one of your caregivers explained the hurtful behavior of a parent in this way. So I hope this is making sense so far. So yes, my point is that if you consider yourself an empath, you can often end up excusing these behaviors because you understand that they're often driven by pain. Now here's where you shift this. You realize that you can be a compassionate, empathetic person. You don't have to change that about yourself. It's a beautiful gift. But you can still hold people responsible for their behavior. Okay? You can be loving, you can be kind without making excuses for people. Because what I described before, the understanding of the behavior and the origins of it, that's only half the complete understanding here. You are understanding that, yes, when someone is hurt, they can lash out or be hurtful. But you're also missing a key piece. And that key piece is that pain or trauma does not cause abuse. It is a choice. Pain or trauma does not cause hurtful behavior. That is also a choice. So while yes, the hurtful behavior can stem from pain, it is not the cause. It's not the cause. Someone is choosing to respond to their pain in that way. So another way to look at this is that many empaths themselves have gone through a tremendous amount of trauma and pain. But I guarantee that most of you guys are not out here acting hurtful or acting abusive. You are consciously choosing not to, right? Somewhere along the line, you made that choice. You said, you know what? Yeah, I've been through a lot of pain. I've been through some really difficult situations, but you know what? I'm not going to continue to hurt people. I'm going to very consciously make an effort to not behave that way. It's a choice, right? So anyone can make that choice. Is it an easy choice? No, not at all. It requires being uncomfortable. As many of us empaths know, the choice to be kind and caring and considerate it's not always the easy choice. But it can be made. It can most definitely be made. So you as an empath do not have to stick around in a toxic relationship if someone is not willing to make that choice with you. The choice to not be abusive, the choice to not be hurtful, the choice to be kind and compassionate in your relationship. Okay? That is their decision to make, right? You can't make anyone choose differently. And then it's your decision whether or not you want to stay with someone who's being abusive, who's being hurtful, you know? For your sake, I hope you don't do that, but it is ultimately up to you. Behaving kindly is a choice. Okay, so there's something else I wanted to address too, why often empaths get stuck in toxic relationships. And that's because a lot of empaths have the belief that their unconditional love will heal someone, right? By the way, let me know in the comments if you guys are relating to this. Because I tagged a bunch of you in here who said that you wanted to hear this information. So yeah, I'm super curious if you guys can relate to this. But yeah, lots of empaths will feel like, oh, you know, if they just hang in there and love this person and keep giving and keep being compassionate and keep being kind, it will heal this person. It will fix them. It will solve all their problems. And gosh, wouldn't that be wonderful if that was how it worked? That would be amazing. That would be an incredible world. If all we had to do was just love people and they would be able to heal. But it doesn't. It never does. Because like I said earlier, someone has to want to not be hurtful. Yeah, okay, I see some of you guys saying, yes, it doesn't work, they won't change. No, you have to want to make being kind and caring a priority. And no one can make you choose that. No amount of love, no amount of caring can make someone want to make that a priority in their lives. They won't do it if they don't want to. So there's a couple things here to keep in mind. If that is you, if you are having the belief, I say this because I can relate to it myself. I was there. I had the belief that if I just was unconditionally loving and kind, that someone would see that and go, oh, you know what? This person really cares about me. I'm going to make the effort to not be hurtful, to not be abusive. That's what felt true to me in my heart. I was incredibly wrong. And I think a lot of you guys will probably, relate to this too. You can give and give and give to someone, but it will not make them change. It's exhausting, it's depleting, and it just simply does not work. So what you can do as an empath is you can understand that this is a good thing about yourself. You making relationships a priority is beautiful. And so all you have to do is redirect that to someone who also has that as a priority in their lives. And then you have a beautiful relationship. But I want to make this very clear. You being unconditionally loving and giving is not enough for someone to change their behavior, to not be abusive, to not be hurtful. Being abusive and hurtful is a choice. Sometimes it's an unconscious choice that would require a lot of work and a lot of motivation, a lot of therapy to shift. But it is a choice. So like I said earlier, you as an empath do not have to stay in these situations just because you love someone. Okay? It's your choice whether or not you want to stay with someone who doesn't treat you the way you deserve to be treated. And like I said earlier, I hope for your sake that you make the choice to leave these toxic relationships. Okay guys, so if you missed it earlier, I am giving away 3 free discovery sessions if you're interested in working with me, so send me a message. And again, apologizing if I couldn't fit you on the tag list. I'm going to tag you in the comments so you can watch the replay later. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Talk to you soon.